Thank you, Adrian, and welcome to the final game of Gareth Southgate's 6th full season in charge of England. We're at the end of term report. Thanks for interesting reading. The inauspicious start, the could do betters, decent marks in the mid-term exams where it felt as though they were close to finding the answers, and the blossoming second half of the campaign where the toughest test was passed and easier questions were dealt with routinely. But how stark the contrast to a year ago. The 21-22 season concluded under a black cloud in the Black Country amidst the cacophony of catcalls and deafening boos. A savage home defeat to Hungary on a night that came close to shaping the manager's future. The case for mitigation has been discussed at length, but from there to here feels like genuine progress. The final day of season number 5 was calamitous. Making the final day of season number 7 glorious remains the be-all and end-all. Here, on the final day of season 6, a year out from the Euros, the class of 23 are ticking along nicely. Grades improving. England's 11 is their oldest and most experienced of the Southgate reign. The second highest number of caps of any starting 11 in Three Lions history. Pickford's in goal. Walker, Stones, Maguire and Shaw, Alexander-Arnold, Rice and Henderson, Saka, Kane and Rashford. The subs, Trippier, Mings and Guehi, Phillips, Eze and Gallagher, Maddison, Foden, Grealish and Wilson, and Johnston and Ramsdale. North Macedonia have Dimitrievski in goal, a back three of Ristovski, Zykov and Velkovsky, Ashkovsky and Alioski at wing back, Damian Vardy in central midfield with Elmas in behind Nestrovsky and Trajkovski. And the referee tonight is Istvan Kovacs from Romania. Delighted to say alongside me, Stuart Pearce. What are you hoping to see tonight?
Well, certainly 3 points without a doubt. Just looking at the result prior to our game, Ukraine only beating Malta 1-0, and I think that just shows the magnitude of our result over in Malta a few days ago. We would like to back that up with another decent result and a couple of goals, but this will be a tougher test, I believe. You know, North Macedonia have got some talent within their ranks, but I think Gareth's put a team out that's going to be strong enough, Jim, to overcome them.
Now it will be England that will get us underway. White shirts, dark blue shorts, and kicking from right to left. North Macedonia in all red. Well, England have beaten 3 of their 4 opponents in this qualifying group. Can they complete the set? North Macedonia can point to wins in Germany and Italy as a mark of their pedigree. But if England make it 4 out of 4 tonight, they'll end the season with a place at the Euros within their grasp. We're underway. Ball laid back for John Stones. Pick it up inside the centre. Circle and pinging a long ball forward. Harry Kane going up for it. And well marshalled by Velkovsky. Ball going over the parapet and out of play for a goal kick that will be taken by Dimitrievski away to our left-hand side. Our result earlier today, Ukraine beating Malta by a goal to 0 and moving up to second in this group in the process. They're 3 points behind England, who have a game in hand on them. England 9 points from 3 games, Ukraine 6 from 3, Italy 3 from 2, North Macedonia 3 from 2, and Malta are yet to take a point from 4 games, and already knowing they're not going to be qualifying. Trajkovsky dropping deep into the midfield to receive the goal kick from Dimitrievski, and he asked a pretty significant question of Alioski, the former Leeds man. He played it in behind him and he couldn't retrace his steps quickly enough. Ball has gone out of play for a throw. The car Walker will take for England over on the far touchline. He's not too far adrift off the edge of the North Macedonia penalty area. It's been well documented that the 2 meetings between these two on English soil have both ended all square. Here's Bukayo Saka trying to get inside the penalty area from the throw, and having executed a very good turn, a low skinning shot in towards the near post was comfortably saved by Dimitrievski. England with a shot on target, less than 90 seconds in, 0-0.
Yeah, good solid start there. Just looking at North Macedonia's lineup when they're looking to build from the back, they've got 2 strikers and they're splitting those strikers, allowing Elmas to just sort of gravitate in behind them in the number 10 position. So it'd be important, as England did with Stones and Maguire splitting to pick up the 2 centre-halves, that Rice gets around Elmas.
A magnificent clearance from Pickford, brought down by Saka on the right-hand side of the North Macedonian penalty area. But the visitors are going to be able to bring it away comfortably enough with Ristovski at the back. Back pass to Dimitrievski. Was under a little bit of pressure from Rashford, had to siphon it out quickly. And to his left, England then with good pressure play it forward, but Rashford's in an offside position. And the North Macedonians will have a free kick inside their own penalty area. Talked about the way they attack. They do play the two strikers very wide. Elmas will push forward. He's had a really good season. Part of the Napoli side that won the league. It's his 50th cap for his country tonight. He's only 23. That shows how highly regarded he is. And he has scored in each of his qualifiers so far.
Yeah, as I say, that is very impressive. And the season he's had at Napoli and the things that they've done there, he'll be one that Declan has certainly got to keep an eye on. If not him, the centre-halves behind him have got to pass over and take him when he goes into the front line.
Still goalless in all of the games taking place tonight. Choice of listening for you though on the talksport network with the Wales game over on talksport 2 right now. As North Macedonia bring it forward into the England penalty area, but cross not forthcoming from Ashkovsky. It was a worrying run from an England perspective, the amount of ground that he made. Maguire stood his ground and stopped him getting across and didn't commit himself. Forced Ashkovsky to try and play it earlier than he wanted to, and it goes out of play. And it's an England ball.
Yeah, good defending there by Maguire, and certainly one or two England players coming and giving him a low five on the back of it. He was in a difficult situation, backing off in his own box, and well to keep his eye on the ball and deal with the issue.
He's played a couple of hours more for England than he has in the Premier League over the course of this season, Harry Maguire. As Adrian was talking about in the build-up here on talksport, he would be relieved to come out of the Old Trafford pitch and possibly not feel it under as much pressure as ordinarily would. He's found one of his Manchester United teammates here, Luke Shaw, across to John Stones, and now to Kyle Walker. A lot of these England players so experienced, which is why this is now the second most experienced side that has ever been picked by the Three Lions. Play forward here to Jordan Henderson. He's in his 70s in terms of caps. Rashford in his 50s makes his way forward, gets to the byline, but can't wrap his left foot around the ball to pull it back for Alexander Arnold, who was waiting. Maguire recycles it after the Macedonians clear, and Rice will play it into the centre circle for Walker. Now it goes out towards Bukayo Saka. Chance for him to run at Alioski. He drops his shoulder, turns inside, flicks it with his left boot back for Kyle Walker again. Walker for Stones. Play forward by Rice through the midfield and then over, hit by Henderson. And he goes out of play for a goal kick. 5 minutes in. Some football from England, very easy on the eye. They've been able to turn the Macedonians back line on a couple of occasions, but neither keeper's had a save to make of any real consequence.
No, you're right what you said there. England have settled in, lovely pattern to the way they're playing, and on that occasion Henderson just overhit the pass, which was for him an easy pass to make for Saka running in behind the back line.
Those thoughts of Stuart Pearce, the former England captain. Shaw plays it forward, and Alexander Arnold in this more advanced role brings it under neat control. Oh, he's done brilliantly. He's got in between two of the Macedonian defenders, but then just gave Ristovski a little bit of a shove. And it's a free kick that the Macedonians will take inside their own penalty area. He's playing with a confidence, with a swagger that we haven't ever seen of him in an England shirt.
Well, to be fair, he started the game the other day at Malta, and what I like about him, everything that he's doing is on the front foot, going forward, looking to get turned, looking to play the pass to hurt people. And it frustrates me a little bit in the modern game. People are very cautious with the ball, and I understand you've got to keep the ball, but sometimes you've got to speculate to accumulate, and he certainly has got the balance right.
This is the first match that England have played here since back in February 2007 when they were beaten by Spain. In fact, they haven't scored in either of their two most recent internationals here, which were both in that 06-07 season. On 9 of their 14 games here at this ground in the 21st century. They've played a fair few here at Old Trafford when Wembley was being redeveloped. Maguire and Stones, the centre-half partnership, just exchanging passes. Stones has it inside his own half. Pitch entirely covered by shadow, but blue skies overhead. Barely a wisp of a cloud to be seen. Alexander Arnold back on the right-hand side of the midfield three now. That's a lovely weighted ball for Jordan Henderson, wearing 8, takes it down on his chest, finds Rice. Back it goes for Walker, who nudges it back to halfway. Stones able to pick it up on the centre circle. Alexander-Arnold can take it on the half turn and then lay it back for John Stones again, who measures a very deliberate ball along the halfway line for Maguire. There's patience about England. Now Henderson will make an excellent darting run. Alexander-Arnold just worked it into the feet of Rashford instead. Tchaikovsky tries to bring it away for the Macedonians, doesn't get too far. They've, other than that one move that they got Ashkovsky down the right-hand side, they haven't been able to string two passes together in England territory so far. We're 7.5 minutes in, it's still 0-0. Rice in possession, Shaw making his way forward to his left. Ball almost stationary, and eventually does play behind square for Jordan Henderson. Macedonians, they haven't got the ball, which has been most of the time very much with a flat back five. It becomes a 5-2-1-2 formation that they're adopting. The captain, Stefan Ristovski, able to bring the ball out, and he then wins a free kick, which will take midway inside his own half. It's gone 0-0 here at Old Trafford.
Yeah, the North Macedonians have adopted a similar formation to Malta, that sort of 5-3-2 scenario, out of possession, defending very deep, and it'll be important, as England did, and certainly as Trent Alexander did, finding space just either side of the midfield, switching of play, exposing the opposite side of the pitch.
And now Jordan Henderson wins it after a poor ball by Ademi through the midfield, and England get the first corner. Henderson chasing down the left-hand side of the penalty area, and the covering was effective from Velkovsky, but at the expense of a corner.
Yeah, top quality pressing there by Henderson. Not only did he go and shut his player down, he done it at sprint pace, Jim, and that's fantastic. Bounced off of one and went chasing the next pass, and then from there, obviously, he's forced a corner for England,
which Luke Shaw will take. On the England left-hand side, he raises his right arm above his head. It's a left-footed away swing, and the heads go up for him. Maguire might have been in quite a good position to make decent contact with that, but it was one of his teammates that got there first and headed it over the bar.
Yeah, John Stones has just got up, towering backwards. Good jump by Stones, but he's took it straight off the head of Harry Maguire, who a brilliant opportunity, probably from about 8 metres out.
So a choice of listening tonight on the talksport network here on talksport at Old Trafford. It's England 0, North Macedonia 0, and live over on talksport 2 right now there's a VAR check. Turkey against Wales, 1-0 Turkey for a Chris Mepamone goal. It is still being checked. It is live for you right now over on talksport 2. I will confirm whether that goal has stood or not as soon as the decision has been made. Potentially Turkey 1, Wales 0, and even more pressure on Rob Page. Wales 4 points from 4 games if they lose tonight. They'll be 5 points adrift in Turkey at the top of that group. Throw to be taken on the Macedonians' right-hand side by Stefan Ristovski. Just motions to throw the ball forward and drop it into the feet of Nestorovski, and then does so at the second time of asking. And Maguire was in there very quickly, but has given a free kick away. Rashford then kicks the ball away only 4 or 5 yards or so, but he's going to be spoken to by the Romanian referee, just delaying the restart. It will be a Macedonian free kick just inside their own half.
And judging by the referees, a couple of early decisions, anyone going to ground's going to get the free kick tonight, so England be mindful winning around their own box, but certainly if that put pressure on in the front third, they could be drawing free kicks and fouls.
Shaw just there ahead of Ashkovsky as he made his way forward from right wing back for the Macedonians. Rashford going up for it. There's a Macedonian player. Ristovski ends up on the deck, but play's allowed to continue. Rashford's got it, trying to go around the outside of Velkovsky, who recovered well. It looks as though Rashford had beaten him. Goes out of play for a throw. It can't be taken yet because they have to assess the potential injury for Stefan Ristovski. Good news for Wales, that goal's been disallowed for an offside after a 3-minute VAR check. So it is still 0-0 Turkey-Wales in Samsun, the north coast of Turkey, and it is live for you right now with Ian Danta and Dave Edwards, the former Welsh international, over on talksport 2. This one still 0-0 as well. Throw to be taken by England's Luke Shaw on the left-hand side. Ball dropped into the feet of Harry Kane, who scored in each of his last 5 games. His best since 6 consecutive scoring internationals back in 2019, but he can emulate that tonight. England going backwards to go forwards. Into the feet of John Stones, exchanging passes with Rice, and then Maguire gets involved. Stones has it at his feet again. Rice playing it for what might be his last England international as a West Ham player. Busy summer ahead for him, and for a few others you would think as well, with Stones in possession.
You just tapped up a player.
Well, I suddenly thought that I might have done. I'll have to ask Alex Crook exactly what the definition is. The ball goes out to Bukayo Saka on the England right-hand side, near the edge of the penalty area. And then Saka will make for the return run from Rashford. And the ball is flipped forward, it goes out of play for a throw that Walker will take. Alexander-Arnold trying to scoop it on. Played for by Rice through the midfield, but the Macedonians can bring it away with Ristovski. And play it down the line for Ashkovsky. The Macedonian right back just turns across the face of Jordan Henderson. There's then an inevitable collision between the pair of them. Ashkovsky's gone down holding his right knee and is in some pain. He wants treatment. It will be a free kick to the visitors, 0-0.
As I said, anyone going to ground, the referee's going to give free kicks. You can see that. I've got to say, he looks in some discomfort. I didn't see the contact on his left knee at all. He's holding his left knee, his right knee, sorry. So I don't know whether he's jarred his leg. He could be in a bit of problems here, actually.
Just wonder when his legs did. Yeah, when his foot came down, maybe just slightly got his front studs of his right boot caught in the turf, and that just wrenched his knee as his momentum took him forward. Does give us an opportunity actually to discuss Rashford and Saka playing together in the England side for the first time from the start, which I found a remarkable statistic. There have been 7 internationals, only 7 internationals where both have featured. In half of those, one has come on for the other. So there have only been 2 occasions where they've both been on the pitch prior to tonight at the same time, and one of those was for the last minute of the Euro Championship final.
It's quite an amazing stat. That's why sometimes you doing your work like that, you have to look in. You would have thought certainly Saka over the last 2 or 3 years has been a nailed-on starter and very, very influential. And you would have said probably the same can be said of Rashford over the last 6 years. But the fact they've not played together or started together is absolutely incredible.
A free kick is taken by Alioski. Worked inside the penalty area really well by Tchaikovsky. And it travelled a long way. Eventually was chested down and cleared by England. And Alexander-Arnold with a divine touch can flick it forward for Henderson. The break is on. Rashford working it wide. Kyle Walker, so quick, making his way forward from right wing back. Right back, I beg your pardon. Now Rashford makes his way forward towards the edge of the penalty area, but the ball is laid deeper towards Maguire. Ashkovsky's had his treatment and is now being waved back onto the field of play. Henderson clipping it forward. Rashford just cushioning it back into his path. There's a deep ball in. Kane going up for it. Alexander-Arnold follows it wide. Whistle had gone though. A clash inside the 6-yard box. Clash of heads involving Harry Kane. And he and the Macedonian defender Ristovski, I think, both in need of a bit of treatment.
I think Alioski's, I think it was him, he's got a slight nudge on the back, I think, of Harry Kane's head and forced the collision, and there's certainly some blood being shed by the North Macedonian, that is for sure, and by the looks of Harry Kane as well, he's had a severe blow on the face.
Yeah, that was a nasty.
I'm not sure how the referee has given a fair. I think he's given a free kick actually to North Macedonia, and I'm not sure how or why.
Well, it gives with 16 minutes gone Gareth Southgate the opportunity just to rally the troops and call the majority of his outfield players over. There are some standing over Kane, who's now back on his knees, kneeling whilst receiving treatment. Oh, it was a nasty clash. That is a horrible one. Alioski has just leant into Kane, sandwiched him and Ristovski. Kane caught in the middle of the pair of them. So they're going through the concussion protocol now with Kane, asking him to look up, to look sideways to the other side as well, to make sure that everything is okay. He'll be able to continue. He's back on his feet. Ristovski's come off the worst of the two.
He certainly has, and it was a fantastic defensive header by Ristovski. It fell on him. If he misses it, Harry Kane scores. He's craned his neck and headed it and helped it on, and in the process of that, him and Harry Kane have clashed heads rather severely.
Goal for Harry tonight will be his 40th of the season for club and country, which will be a very tidy return. 30 of those coming in the Premier League. He's got 51 goals in his last 61 starts for England. His record in qualifiers is simply magnificent, where he's hitting it more than a goal a game. 18 in 16 European Championship qualifiers in his England career. And it's a similar story in World Cup qualifiers as well, where he's got 17 in 40.
Well, North Macedonia got a bit of a problem here, because Ristovski is bleeding out the side of his head, and it seems as though they're not sure what to do with him at the moment, the medical staff.
Well, he's the captain. They desperately need him to continue. They're already without one of their first choice centre-halves because of suspension. Bizan Musliu sent off 2 yellow cards in that game against Ukraine on Friday, where they were 2-0 up at half-time and ended up losing by 3 goals to 2, struggling to defend set pieces in the second half of that match. Sergei Rebrov's Ukraine were able to turn it around. Ristovski is still receiving treatment. He's sat down much closer to us now in the Macedonian technical area, and applying compresses and bandages. I think they've tried to put a couple of stitches in there. Still seemingly haven't quite stemmed the flow of blood as yet. Play continues. Rashford's got it. Left-hand side of the penalty area with talksport. With the 19 gone at 0-0. Rashford crashing across the 6-yard box. But Dimitrievski's handling was assured. He couldn't spill that one with Harry Kane lurking. But he got the ball into his body, and it remains goals.
Yeah, it does. I'm just thinking, going back a couple of days to that game in Malta, Jim, the goals come at very opportune and good moments for us, didn't they, in Malta? You know, we got our nose in front, we'd settled everything down a little bit, and then 2 quick-fire goals to lead 3-0 at half-time, and the work was done. This game, we might have to be a little bit more patient, waiting for the opportunity.
England scored a vast majority of their goals in the second half of matches, by and large. I think the other night, but by and large they do, and most of the ones they concede come in the second half of games as well. In fact, only 5 of the last 21 that England have let in has come before the break. They've only conceded 5 first half goals since November 2020. England in possession. Too many signs that they'll concede one in the first half here so far. Rashford trying to get on the end of a Maguire floated ball forward. There are very few signs of England being able to make the most of the numerical superiority they have at the moment. This power play, because of the injury for the Macedonia captain Stefan Ristovski, who's still being attended to.
There's literally 9 people around him as he sat on the floor just in front of the technical area there.
Too many cooks. Here's Walker. 10 yards inside the Macedonian half, knocking it square to his left-hand side. Still 0-0 in every game taking place in the European qualifiers tonight as we approach the midway stage of the first half in all of them. Henderson made a good darting run ahead of Luke Shaw, but I think by the time Shaw had seen him, he would have been offside, so he played it square anyway. Stones is able to venture forward from centre-half. He's worked it out towards Bukayo Saka, and no sign of any lingering problems with the slight injury that forced him off in Malta as a precaution the other night at half-time. Rashford to Shaw. Shaw right on the corner of the penalty area. Harry Maguire's got it now. Down towards Luke Shaw. Trying to control the ball and measure the cross. Actually worked it back onto his weaker right foot to knock it back for Marcus Rashford. Rashford trying to find a way past Ashkovsky. Back to the edge of the penalty area for Henderson. Henderson almost in a shooting position. Worked it instead into the feet of Alexander-Arnold. Rice back for Walker. Walker to Declan Rice again. The applause you can hear from the Macedonian contingent because the skipper's going to be back on in a moment. Now he's got to change his shirt. Here's Rashford inside the penalty area, and he sold a good dummy and has won a corner, covering from centre-half Elkovsky, sliding in at the near post to block the cross.
what they're doing at the moment, and doing very well, Macedonia, is they're numbering up when Rashford gets the ball. Every time he gets the ball, there's at least two around him. On that occasion, there was 4 players in close attendance just to push the ball behind for a corner.
Luke Shaw takes that corner, bundled on inside the penalty area by Maguire, who didn't really make clean contact on the edge of the penalty area. Comes down for Henderson. Henderson now on the right-hand touchline, trying to take on one too many, but wins a throw. It was knocked off the island by Nestrovsky, who was back defending. One of the split strikers ending up at left back for a moment. They can't get out, the Macedonians, but they have been able to keep things tight. They've got the distances between the lines pretty accurate. They've stopped England being able to find the space, and although England have managed to get around the back on a couple of occasions early on, haven't been able to force the goalkeeper into a worthwhile save as yet. Shaw flicking it back inside his own half, where Rice will chase it, and will give Jordan Pickford a touch? No, he won't. Turns it forward instead. It's 0-0, Stuart. We're midway through the first half here on talksport.
Ristovski just back on the pitch, and with what is sportingly known as a full turban, I think, medical staff eventually have done the right and proper thing.
Alexander-Arnold turning it back inside the box, and Stefan Ristovski's there to be able to clear. He's got a massive big crepe bandage wrapped round his head and 2 bits of incongruous looking red tape, trying to keep them stuck down. He's doing well, but he will have a headache, it's fair to say. They've stemmed the flow. He's got another blood red shirt on, but one without blood on it this time. Rice in possession for England, 30 yards outside the penalty area. His left hand side for Harry Maguire. Maguire picking possession up. He's forced away by Nestrovsky. Got every outfield player behind the ball. Alexander-Arnold drifting out to the right. He's not able to find anything like as much time or space to have the influence that he did in Malta on Friday. Not yet anyway. And the ball goes out for a throw that will be taken by England on the left-hand side. 24 gone.
Yeah, and I think when you look at that, people will think, well, hang on a minute, if Malta are playing the same shape as North Macedonia, why can't we find the space to get Trent on, to get Jordan on either side of the midfield? It's because the forwards are dropping back and banking up as well, so moving the ball from side to side, you still can't expose the opposite side of the pitch because a striker's dropped into that zone.
A cynical push from Nestrovsky on Maguire as he dispensed with the ball on halfway. And the free kick is given England's way. The referee sprinted over and had a word with Nestrovsky. Plays his club football in Italy for Udinese. England taking the free kick quickly. Saka working in inside the penalty area. Shaw in a central position, the closest to being able to get on the end of it. They can bring it away with Elmas, the Napoli man, winning his 50th cap tonight. Bardi then lays it back to Gianni Alioski, who's part of the lead side that won promotion under Bielsa. Macedonians work it back to the edge of their own penalty area for Velkovsky. And now it goes back out to Alioski again. He's playing his football in Saudi Arabia these days. Joined by a few this summer, I think. He's at Al Ahly. He made 170 appearances in the white of Leeds United. Stefan Ristovski, the Dinamo Zagreb player. An unmistakable bandage around his head now. Alexander-Arnold, then Henderson, then Rice, and now Walker bringing the ball forward for England over on the far touchline on a hazy night here in Manchester. Trent Alexander-Arnold getting the ball into feet and just popping it off straight away for Jordan Henderson. Now it comes down for Maguire. An exercise tonight in patience for England, for the players, coaching staff, for the fans as well. It's not a game that has to be won inside the opening half an hour. Maguire back for Stones. Stones able to venture forward outside the centre circle. Gets it back again from Rice. Now play forward into the feet of Saka, who tries to turn and is fouled. 10-12 yards outside the box, right of centre.
I'll tell you what we might have to do in this game, which I think we've done a little bit of in Malta, is when we get the ball in wide areas, it's come out to Shaw on many an occasion already in this game. He might just have to put a ball in the box into an area and see whether it creates chaos, to be fair, because at the moment North Macedonia are in shape, ball's going out wide. Rashford's gone to the touchline on a few occasions and he's pulled balls back across, but they've been either cut out or dealt with by the goalkeeper. I think maybe we've got to put some crosses in hope that it drops to the edge of the box for shooting opportunities.
Alexander-Arnold taking this free kick, and it's headed away and out for a corner. Easy to say from here, but there must have been a lack of communication because Ristovski didn't have to play that. He was going to sail out for a goal kick. He did head it away, and he goes out for a corner that will be taken on the England left. So third of the game here on talksport, 0-0, 27 minutes gone. The crepe bandage is not being successfully stuck down by that red tape that seemingly has been randomly applied. It almost came off there as he headed the ball away. Alexander-Arnold to take this corner. It'll be an in-swinger from the England left-hand side as they look for the breakthrough here against North Macedonia. Fired into a central position, and he should have been 1-0. Maguire coming to meet it, and he got the jump on his man. But England's most prolific defender of all time headed it wide.
Yeah, he's got good contact there. I think the referee's actually blown for a free kick, but defensively they've struggled to get on things. We've had first contact now on a couple of times on crosses into the box from corners, and I think we need to do it a bit more commonly in free play.
That was one of the weaknesses having watched the game the other night, the defeat that they suffered against Ukraine, but they found it easy to get strikers across the markers, particularly over on the left-hand side of the defensive unit. So down the England right, great ball by Rashford for Shaw, hooked inside the area, and there is the breakthrough. Harry Kane, yet again in the qualifier, his 40th of the season for club and country, and one of the easiest of the lot. He was 7 yards out, completely unmarked. Goalkeeper out of the picture, lashes it in. England have had to be patient, but they have been, and they lead North Macedonia by a goal to 0. Harry Kane.
Really top quality play there, ball out to Rashford. He just stopped the defender and slid it through his legs, I think, to Luke Shaw that had run beyond two defenders fronting Rashford up. And from them, I think the referee, VAR, might have a good look at this, by the way. It was close, very, very close. But brilliant setup by Shaw, Rashford, and when it come to Harry Kane, easy to get wrong those. They're bouncing in front of you, and he dealt with it like Harry Kane, really.
Kane scoring goal number 57 of his international career, and he's now netted in 6 successive matches. And the second time that he's ever done that for England, matching the run that he set back in 2019. He's still being looked at. The referee hasn't given the signal for the restart. He does now, and the goal does stand. So the breakthrough coming just before the half-hour mark. His 49th goal as captain of his country, and it's his 51st goal in competitive internationals. He scored more goals in competitive internationals than every other player's ever scored in any game for England apart from Wayne Rooney.
Listen, he's an impressive individual, and the thing that makes him so good, Jim, that ball was bouncing across him. He's took it with his left foot, and he's made it look so easy. You know, and a lot of people say it was an easy goal to score. It is if you're Harry Kane and you've got that technique and composure.
19 goals in 17 games in European Championship qualifiers. And England looking set there now for a 4th straight win in these 4 opponent groups, a 5-team group where you play 8 games. Historically, if you look back at what has been needed in the past, 15 points always really is going to be enough for you to qualify. And you've only got to finish in the top 2. And England will be on 12 with 4 games left, including a match at home to Malta. So mathematically they won't be there, but they are all but there already if they hang on for a victory tonight.
When you consider, Jim, the ability in this group and the ease of qualification with 2 teams going through, you know, in years gone in the past you could be in with a Dutch or a real tough nut to crack with only 1 automatically qualifying, but we should have no problems in groups like this.
No, absolutely. But England, of course, in this group are second seeds. The Italians the top seeds. 3 points from their 2 games. They'll been involved in the Nations League out in the Netherlands over the last week or so, so they haven't played as many qualifying games in this group as anybody else. Here's Trent Alexander-Arnold bringing the ball down. Now Kane's got it again towards the edge of the penalty area, and he lays it off. Henderson letting it run. Declan Rice has it. Didn't fancy a shot on his left foot. Pokes it back with his right down to the left-hand touchline, where Shaw's got to retrace his steps under pressure from Ristovski. And England will go all the way back for Maguire and Stones and then bring it forward again. Elsewhere, Slovenia lead Denmark by a goal to nil, and Switzerland are 1-up at home to Romania. Well, still 0-0 in Turkey as the ball is swung in. Rashford volleys it back across the face of goal. And then the two England players coming onto it around the edge of the 6-yard box couldn't quite get the touch that they wanted. Dug in by Saka, Rashford chasing it, flicking it in, and it
the hip of Henderson, I think.
Hit him really rather than being able to control it. There's a nice smile on his face as he walks away.
That was the type of cross that I think we should put in a little bit more. Saka picking it up, attacked his man and just put it into an area, and from that area it creates chaos almost.
So Wales still 0-0 despite the early scare of a Chris Peppermone goal inside the opening 10 minutes. It was chalked off belatedly by VAR. It's 0-0. It's live on talksport 2 for you right now. Northern Ireland also in action, 0-0 at home to Kazakhstan, and will be there as soon as anything of any consequence happens. The Republic of Ireland being held by Gibraltar 10 minutes before half-time. North Macedonia bring it forward, play down towards the left-hand side. Chance for Bardi to get his foot on the ball in the midfield. They qualify for the last Euros, North Macedonia, the first major tournament they've reached in their history. They lost all 3 games, but they gave a decent account of themselves. They qualified because they were the beneficiaries of the reformatted qualification system, where they'd won their group in League D, the bottom league of the Nations League, and as a consequence they were in a playoff path, beat Kosovo and Georgia, and found themselves in a major tournament. Far from disgraced. They then won in Germany in World Cup qualifying in March 2021 and finished second in that group, beat Italy in the playoffs but lost to Portugal. Have been getting better historically, although they've just gone off the ball over the last year or so. Here's Harry Kane again for England, switching it wide out to the far touchline, but just sailed over the shoulder of Saka. A difficult one for him to try and take. He actually didn't get anything on it at all. And it goes out of play for a goal kick that will be taken by the Macedonians. It's 1-0 to England. Harry Kane's goal in 29 minutes.
Yeah, great setup there. Once again, Rashford standing his man up and playing the pass instead of taking him on, which was the right thing to do. And then Harry Kane, having support from Trent Alexander on the left, he decided to go right. Probably the wrong option.
Ademi. Back to Zykov. Long ball launched forward, trying to get Elmas, the Napoli player, running in between the two England centre-halves. He will be cleared. The retreating Nestrovski wins it back for the Macedonians, kicking from left to right towards the scoreboard end here at Old Trafford. East Stand. Still they have possession. England just dropping off into a shape for a moment and having a little bit of a breather. England have had 65% of the possession so far, and all 5 shots that we've seen have been on the goal away to our left-hand side in front of the Stretford end. Pickford has had 1 cross to take. That's been it. Zykov to Velkovsky. Ball through the midfield for Elmas. A little right-footed ball forward from Velkovsky. A little bit of space that opens up in the midfield for Ademi. Tchaikovsky comes back, pops it off towards Bardi. And England more than happy with the Macedonians having possession on halfway or just inside England territory to let them string the passes together, as long as they're only going sideways and not really making too much ground force. We'll try and play around Rashford now and get Ristovski into it. His ball just went the wrong side of Tchaikovsky from a Macedonian perspective, and England have won it back with Rice. Played into the feet of Kane, the goal scorer, now back from Maguire. And the Macedonians very quickly just retreat in formation way back inside their own half, knowing that there might be another 3 or 4 minutes where they hardly get a touch of the ball. Rashford. Back it goes from him to Henderson. Now inside the centre circle will be played forward towards Alexander-Arnold. he's taken responsibility tonight in the same way that he did the other night. Trent, when he's had the ball on the half turn, he's often played it safe, particularly in the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, but what I would say is I think North Macedonia have played their part in stopping the space for him. If you look now, Jim, there's not a lot of space for him to receive the ball. You know, you might say, well, he's got to work a little bit harder. I think that the space isn't there. It was the other night, and when you give him space, he can show you exactly what he can do with his pass delivery, as we saw the other day.
I mean, it did look so promising. We described it at the time as like a significant piece of the jigsaw had been broken out of the box and put into place, but we need to see Trent playing in that role in a number of games against opposition of varying qualities before we really know whether it is definitively going to be the answer for the European Championships next summer.
Yeah, well, put it this way, he's done no worse than any other midfield player out there, is he?
No,
that is for sure, and he was the best player in Malta.
Saka's got the ball and finds Trent now in the corner of the penalty area. That's a good ball in, and so is that from Walker for Saka into the roof of the net for two. Wonderful England goal, stringing the passes together, good, crisp, clever movement, an incisive ball in, and some finish from a tight angle. He's lashed it into the roof of the net. Bukayo Saka doubling England's advantage. 2 in 9 minutes coming at the half-time.
Yeah, top quality set up there. Trent played his part, put it out to Walker. And as we were saying earlier, if you're in wide areas, put it in the box. You never know what's going to happen. If you're safe all the time, you just end up recycling it. On that occasion, Walker whipped it in the box. It went straight to the feet of Saka. And once he got out of his feet, he just unloaded one in the roof of the net, Jim.
3 World Cup goals for Bukayo Saka as part of his tally of 8 for his country coming into tonight. 9 he's got now. What a season he's had. 15 goals for Arsenal. And you look at the quality of his performances, you have to remind yourself, he's only 21. And that was a great move that he himself played a part in. The ball from Alexander-Arnold to Walker was clever. The ball in from Walker was even better. The finish better still. 2-0.
Yeah, as I say, he's had a super season, this kid. He really has. Went off the boil a little bit back end of the season, which tallied with Arsenal's club form not being as strong as it was for most of the season, and I think, well, probably him not playing as well as he had done probably affected Arsenal more than Arsenal affected him, if I'm being honest. And it's good to see him finishing the last game of this calendar season so well.
He will play the ball out towards the right-hand side and concede a throw. Rostovsky had to get the bandage sorted out again. That was a process that started in the immediate aftermath of the second goal. It's just been completed and he's been given permission. He's now back on the field. So England leading North Macedonia by 2 goals to 0. First time they've ever led against the North Macedonians on English soil. 2 away games that England have played against them. They did win both of those. Alexander-Arnold trying to break through the midfield. Free kick given away by Stones. And the referee is just having a word. And I think it was Rice, actually. I beg your pardon. And he's got a yellow card as well. And he looks bemused.
He is a little bit volatile, this referee, as I mentioned earlier. He's just caught Elmas on the follow-through. He's got the ball and then just caught him on the follow-through. But to be honest with you, it's not a bookable offence. It really isn't. And just going back to Ristovski, he's gone from full turban to water polo helmet now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he would have fitted in well with the Croatian fans last night in the Nations League final with their trademark headgear, even in the right colours. Alioski trying a little backheel flick, that didn't come off. Very dangerous place to lose possession, and England will stride forward again. And Rostovski's covered, then gives his goalkeeper a back pass he didn't really want. He hit it briskly through necessity at him from about 8 yards, but he was able to clear it. England win it back. Rashford down towards Shaw to Henderson, and back for Rice, who controls it on his right thigh, and then drops the shoulder, changes direction and plays it into the feet of Alexander-Arnold. He's put under immediate pressure in the midfield by Elmas. There's it back from Maguire. Alexander-Arnold has it again. Denmark have equalised in Slovenia. Switzerland a 2-1 at home to Romania. But Joe Morrell has been sent off for Wales. Live over on talksport 2. It's 0-0 in that game away to Turkey, but the Welsh are down to 10 men. England 2 goals to the good here. Kane and this man Saka on 29 and 38 minutes respectively. Comfortable half-time advantage on Friday night in Malta, and seemingly it's going to be more of the same here in Manchester. Still, the Macedonians haven't had a shot either on or off target, with Jordan Henderson in possession now. Back for Kyle Walker. Walker's ball forward into the feet of Trent. No, straight back again. Now Stones. Kane going out to the inside right channel. Henderson in a more central area had just shown, wanted the ball into feet. Rice does likewise and gets it, and then turns away, finds Henderson. Henderson back for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Shaw making a run in towards the far post. Rashford's played it, edge of the D, tries to get himself into a shooting position, then plays in Maguire, and Rashford on the follow-up as his efforts saved. That was like watching Chris Wilder Sheffield United there, with the way that Maguire made his way forward as the overlapping centre-half and got himself down by the dead ball line, pulled it back beautifully, and the goalkeeper got in the way of Rashford's shot to keep it at 2.
Well, that man Maguire was made in Sheffield, I think, wasn't he? A product of the academy, so fantastic run by him, great football, and once again Rashford, he couldn't beat someone, so he just stopped the ball, stopped the momentum of the defenders, and then rolled a clever pass beyond them for a runner. Really clever. He's played that pass on 3 occasions now, and it's a really intelligent pass. He's played it after he stopped the momentum of the defenders.
That's where Israel won Andorra 0. Northern Ireland still 0-0 with Kazakhstan coming up the half-time. England work inside the penalty area again, where a deflection spins across into the hands of the goalkeeper, who then bowled it out quickly and almost bowled it to Rice, 25 yards from goal. But it was picked up by a panic-stricken Ademi. Kane's won it back, in for Henderson inside the area, pulled back for Rashford, who scores a third. Another excellent England performance when they've turned the screw in the last 15 minutes. They have blown North Macedonia away. Excellent movement again down the left-hand side of the box, and Rashford was there to side-foot it home. Only a minute after the goalkeeper denied him, he does make it England 3, North Macedonia 0.
I've got to say, England have broke the North Macedonian hearts now. Really good play, sensible football, but hounding the North Macedonians. They tried to play out, it got really tight. Henderson led it, Kane got on the second one, then Henderson got on the ball, a little pull back, and Rashford's simplest of task to stroke it in the goal. Good team play and good pressing by the team.
And he scored twice against Wales on his last start, and he scored again tonight. We mentioned earlier that he hadn't started a qualifier since 2019, which was a game against Montenegro. That ended up 7-0 to England. He scored that night, so he's now scored in 3 successive starts in qualifying matches. And England, just as they were on Friday, have a 3-0 advantage going into first half stoppage time, and there will be 3 additional minutes to be played. This could be a long night as far as the North Macedonians are concerned.
I think the one thing that's impressed me, Jim, is the way players are setting up chances for each other. There's no selfishness within this play. There's been a few times on occasion where players have run through and you thought, well, I will probably forgive you to have a shot, but the pass is on, and they've always played the pass, which is really good.
Shaw finding John Stones. There are a few disconsolate looking at North Macedonians. It was Tchaikovsky that time with his hands out, bemoaning the lack of quality of service that was played in his direction. It's such a good start of the game, North Macedonia, just in terms of being able to frustrate England and stop any potential flow of attacks. But as soon as England got things figured out, they've been able to break through almost at will. Leading 3-0, and it could have been 5. Ball's out with Kyle Walker on the England right-hand side. So they've taken England's tally up to 27 goals now in the last 10 games. Stones, back for Maguire. And Maguire just caught in possession. But he was fouled, and the free kick has been taken quickly. Taken short to Luke Shaw on the England left-hand side. England 3, North Macedonia 0. Kane bring the ball under control. And so that's 2 successive halves of football in which North Macedonia have shipped 3. They led in 3 in the last 25 minutes against Ukraine on Friday. Led in 3 in the last 15 minutes of the first half tonight. Just in the final seconds of the third additional minute of stoppage time. John Stones bringing it forward, venturing over the halfway line. Kane scored the first, dropping deep to fire it back at Walker. Walker's got Stones just behind square to his left-hand side. He in turn has got Maguire to his left. Played in briskly and then fall from him towards Rice. A progressive ball out towards Saka. Lovely control from him on the right-hand touchline. Just a little bit too heavy, the pass intended for Kane, and smuggled back by the Macedonians for goalkeeper Dimitrescu. They'll be really pleased to hear the half-time whistle. England patient in the extreme through the opening 25 minutes. When they began to turn it on, they did so with real aplomb. Goals from Kane, Saka and Rashford. And at half-time, it's England 3, North Macedonia 0. And there will be a change at half-time, not by England, but the Macedonians are going to be bringing Bejtulaj on. And the player that hasn't reappeared for the second half by the look of it is Stefan Ristovski. The Macedonian captain who picked up that very bad facial injury in the first half. So he hasn't reappeared for the second half. And Bejtulaj, whose last cap came back in November, has come on to replace him. So we're back underway. England, white shirt, star blue shorts, kicking from left to right, defending the Stretford end. And the visitors from North Macedonia in all red and in possession, launching it forward. Tchaikovsky towered over by John Stones, who heads it away. But the ball then cleared by Henderson straight over the line and out of play for a throw that will be taken by Alioski on the North Macedonian left. England, Pickford in goal, Walker, Stones, Maguire and Shaw, Alexander-Arnold, Rice and Henderson, Saka, Kane and Rashford. And it is Saka, Kane and Rashford who have got the 3 England goals in the first half as they look for 21st win in 22 European Championship qualifying matches. They've won over the European Championship and World Cup qualifiers together. This will be a 24th win in 25, in which they've scored 84 goals and conceded just the 8. North Macedonia in possession inside their own half with Zykov to his right-hand side for Velkovsky. Now comes down to the left-hand side for Elmas. And Elmas just lobs the ball over the on-rushing Harry Kane. Now to work out towards the right-hand side for the substitute Bejtulaj. North Macedonia are able to bring it forward. Tchaikovsky waiting for the ball in the penalty area. It's just played in behind him. Alexander-Arnold on the retreat can sweep up and get it away. And it's then controlled in the next phase of play by Jordan Henderson, who will find Shaw. And Shaw works it back for his goalkeeper, Jordan Pickford. Out towards Walker, and England will build from the back again. 90 seconds into the second half. And alongside me here on talksport is Stuart Pearce watching on as Saka gets on the end of an Alexander-Arnold ball. Oh! He's lashed it into the top left-hand corner. What a pass! What a strike! What an England performance this is fast developing into. That is the best of the lot by some distance. The quality of the first-time ball forward from Trent Alexander-Arnold, the run from Saka, the control, and a howitzer of a left-footed shot. England 4, North Macedonia 0.
Well, I was bemoaning not enough players in double figures. I think that puts Saka in double figures now, which is brilliant. But you've got to say the team understanding there. Walker lays a ball inside to Trent Alexander with just the right amount of weight on it so he can deliver the pass first time. He's just wrapped it round the corner, and as soon as it was coming to Trent Alexander, Saka's on his way. Cuts inside, and as it bounces up, he just hits a shot which is unstoppable. Absolute brilliance.
And that's 3 goals now for Bukayo Saka in this campaign, and 4 for England in an 18-minute spell either side of half-time.
Well, that is just absolute top quality finish, it really is. And the setup, the pass from Walker, simplicity in itself I understand, but the weight's got to be right so Trent Alexander can hit it first time. He does exactly that, he knows exactly where he's putting it. And then Saka on the edge of the box, brilliant. As good a goal as England have scored this season, Jim.
Absolutely, and Saka is now on a hat-trick as Rice plays the ball back for John Stones. What a difference a year makes. 4-0 home defeat in the last game of the last season, and the 4-0 home lead early in the second half of this one.
Jim, we sat at Molineux that night. That was the last game, wasn't it? We sat at Molineux, and
there's Rashford trying to get in. An opportunity to try and make it 5-0 out. Alexander-Arnold is unlucky. On initial viewing, had a free kick given against him as the loose ball bobbled down towards the edge of the penalty area. His boot was raised, but raised too high towards Alioski in the eyes of the referee, and as a consequence the free kick has been given North Macedonia as well.
Yeah, as I say, we sat there this time calendar year ago and watched that performance. It wasn't a good performance, there's no doubt, but the reaction from the fans on the back of a long season was over the top in my eyes.
4-0 home defeat, certainly one of the worst results that England have had. The worst under Gareth, without a shadow of a doubt. Now you look at the workload, just having a look at the number of games that some of the players have played tonight. So the front 3 of England are in their 62nd, 64th and 63rd games of the season, and Declan Rice is playing his 64th game of the season, but they look fresh. There's a spring in the step. It's easy when you're 4-0 up, I guess, but they're spraying the ball around. There's a confidence that just makes you think that momentum is beginning to grow, and that's not making bold, brave predictions about what might happen in 12 months' time. It's just the fact that England feel as though they are continuing to improve. Yes, Malta ranked 150-odd in the world. North Macedonia ranked 65th in the world. They've come here on the back of 5 defeats in 8. But England are playing brilliant football. And Kane has got it through for Saka! Saka in for his hat-trick, as sweet as you like. A midsummer night's dream for the Arsenal youngster. And England 5 up. 6 minutes into the second half, Bukayo Saka with his first international hat-trick.
Yeah, top quality finish in there, went through, composure personified, just opened the goal up and just slid it past the goalie with the left foot. 3 goals. Once again, changing fortunes of individuals. A couple of years ago he missed a penalty in the Euro final at a low ebb, and all of a sudden he's kissing a football at Old Trafford with a hat-trick for England. Incredible.
Yeah, the last time that Saka and Rashford were on an England field together was that night where they both missed penalties. Now they've got 4 between them, and Saka has a 13-minute international hat-trick to his name, and the quality of his second goal, England's 4th, but that was an excellent through ball, and he just took it so well. He's never going to miss. Outpaced the back line, drew the goalkeeper, slotted it past him, and it's 5-0.
Well, and as you touched on there, Jim, the through pass from Harry Kane, made to look very, very simple, but an absolute great pass, perfect weight, straight into the on-rushing run of Saka, who held his run brilliantly, I've got to say, and thoroughly deserves that hat-trick.
It's not just the first international hat-trick of his career, it's the first hat-trick of his career, the club or country. 5-0 England. 5 goals in 22 minutes. Masidonia in possession over on the far side. They can't wait for this night and season to end.
I don't want to bark on about it because we touched on it earlier in the game, but if I'm Jack Grealish and I'm thinking to myself, I'm sat on that bench and thinking I've had a brilliant season this year for my club and the country and all of those type of things, I'm sat here and thinking I don't know, I'll never know, I might have not been involved in this game because I've overdone it with the celebrations, you know what I mean? And it would be a game that slipped away from me. That would be my mentality. I've lost an England cap on the back, maybe, of something I've done off the pitch and away from football, and that would gall with me for the rest of my life, if I'm being honest with you.
Well, you can extrapolate it out further, and again, I'm couching this in all conceivable maybe terms with a capital N, but Gareth is a loyal manager. This has worked very well tonight with the forward three as they are. Rashford on the left, Saka on the right, and Kane through the middle. Mighty have got himself out of the picture for more than just a couple of games in June. Might it be something that has longer ramifications, if indeed that is part of Gareth's thinking for the team that he has picked tonight, and we don't know. Here's Walker. Play forward towards Kane. Score of the first. Saka scorer of goals 2, 4 and 5. Marcus Rashford got the third just before the half-time interval. Jordan Henderson on the edge of the penalty area, finding Harry Maguire. There's a real buzz about the place at Old Trafford now, with England leading by 5 goals to 0. Rice with the layoff, Rashford bringing it forward, a little drop of the shoulder, Beitilai. Got a touch, steered it over the line, out of play. England with their 4th corner as the first of the second half. 5-0.
Yeah, as I say, from a scoreline point of view, it's been absolutely brilliant from England, I've got to say. From a situation where we've used the absolute economy of passing, it's been absolutely magnificent. Everyone feeding each other as a teammate. It's been perfect for that. It shows a real good team togetherness, I think.
Now the ball's put in the net by Marcus Rashford. The flag was up. The flag actually came up, free kick given long before he put the ball in the net. But that was the cheer. There is some action on the England bench, so with the points you would imagine very safely secured, Southgate will have the opportunity just to shuffle things around very shortly. The ball is going to be cleared by the goalkeeper Dimitrievski. And now worked down the line by Shaw. Shaw's ball out towards the touchline. Henderson rolling his man. Kane making his way forward, trying to get into a position for the pull-back, and then Luke Shaw's just left one on Beitilai inside the box, and it's a free kick which will be taken by the Macedonians. That might give England the opportunity to make a change. It's going to be a double change at least. The Macedonians are going to be making a triple change. Forced into one substitution at half-time, they're going to be making another 3 with Serafimov, Atanasov and Dorian Babunski, the players that are going to be coming on. And England will be making, I said it's going to be a double change, it's going to be a quadruple change instead. And talksport's England correspondent Faye Carruthers has got a better view than me, can tell me exactly who's going on.
Well, 3 of them are Manchester City players, that's what I can tell you, Jim. Phil Foden, Calvin Phillips, Jack Grealish and Conor Gallagher all coming on for Gareth Southgate's team.
Hey, thank you. So 7 subs coming on between the 2 teams. Atanasov coming on in the midfield for Ademi, for the Macedonian. Serafimov, centre half, who wasn't in the original squad, but he has come on at the back, and might be Aliovski's the other player coming off. No, it's going to be Atanasov who will come on. So England will now be able to rotate the pack. It's a big roar of approval for Jack Grealish as he prepares to come on. So Grealish, Foden, Gallagher and Phillips players being introduced here by England. Stuart?
Yeah, well, it was obvious he was going to freshen it up and put a few faces on. Hendo was a natural one. And Saka just got his hat-trick as well. Gallagher's been a big part of this as well. It's nice to see a young player getting on the pitch, and obviously Declan, a straight swap. I think we only need one holding midfield player in a game like this. And Phillips will be just desperate to get some game time, really.
But what a night for Bukayo Saka.
Magnificent. I mean, the season he's had, this just punctuates the end of that season, and I'm absolutely delighted for him. He's been a real talent this year, just getting a massive cuddle from the manager, and rightly so. Low maintenance professional footballer, so he seems. Done really well this year.
Pickford raced outside his penalty area to sweep up and get the ball away. One of the few pieces of action that he has been called into. It's a confirmation of the changes. Phillips for Rice, Foden for Saka, Grealish for Rashford, and Gallagher for Henderson for North Macedonia, Atalasov for Ademi, Serafimov for Zykov, and Babunski for Trajkovski. 5-0 England, with 14 minutes gone in the second half here on talksport. And a reminder that over on talksport 2, Turkey against Wales continues. It's still 0-0. Welsh down to 10 men after Morel was sent off. The Republic of Ireland now 2 up at home to Gibraltar. That was 0-0 at half-time. The goals from Johnston and Evan Ferguson in quick succession have spared the blushes there. Republic of Ireland leading by 2 goals to 0, and Northern Ireland against Kazakhstan remains 0-0. Harry Maguire with a touch. Aaron Phillips bringing the ball down. Walker has it now, down towards Foden. And Walker will turn it back inside his own half for Stones, and Pickford is out directing traffic a long way outside his penalty area, trying to get into Stones' eye line to tell him where to play the pass. Walker controlling the ball on the England right. Back it goes for Stones. A game that's still very much being played in daylight here, even with an hour gone. With the longest day of the year, just a couple of days ahead of us. Trent Alexander-Arnold that tried to turn the ball forward. Caught in the midfield by Atalasov, but plays allowed to continue. And England cycling it out to the left-hand side. So half an hour to go. 5-0 England. What do you, as an England supporter, want to see from here? The momentum continuing clearly. England remaining on the front foot rather than how the game just drifted a little bit to Harley the other day. But what individuals do you feel might need to prove themselves or show something in the half an hour we've got left?
Well, first one who jumps out at me is Calvin Phillips. You know, with the season he's had, it's been so stop and start. Well, I wouldn't say stop and start. I'm not saying it start. It's certainly stopped. And I think for injury and a multitude of other reasons, you know, he's picked up 3 major medals for his football club and hardly contributed to any of it, which has been tough for him. So he needs to he'll be delighted to be on the pitch and playing again, because he's played a big part in getting England to the Euro final a couple of years ago. Conor Gallagher, always good for him to get experience on the pitch. You know, could be with the 21s, I think, age appropriate wise, Jim. So I think if it was down to me, I would probably have him with the 21 squad, you know, contribute here, then go meet up with the 21s. I think that would do him the world of good, personally.
Foden plays the ball down the line for Kyle Walker. Walker's cross blocked by Alioski. Ricochets out towards the touchline. Foden trying to take it on. Alioski back on his feet and back in possession. Just an exchange of passes with Serifimov. Alioski working it inside his own penalty area, where Bardi, the captain, now that Ristovski's gone off injured, they're away towards halfway, but they'll quickly come back. Maguire forward, and he and Phillips just at cross purposes for a moment. And Tarnasov wearing 11, just works it in towards the captain. Bardi caught immediately in possession by Phillips, and England will come forward again with Kay. Out of the left-hand side of the penalty area, worked into the blonde-haired Gallagher. Gallagher out to Grealish, and Gallagher ends up on the deck. The referee says no foul, and has given a throw North Macedonia's way in their right-back position.
Yeah, it's a little bit theatrical there. Well, maybe I'm being harsh. The referee's blown up for every foul that anyone's hit the floor on tonight, and that was the only one he hasn't.
quite a different refereeing performance from him as well from his last one in the Nations League semi-finals between Croatia and Spain just last week. Isvan Kovacs. The ball played out to Croatia and the Netherlands, I beg your pardon, the semi-final as opposed to the final. The ball that played over towards the far touchline, England's left, and worked back for Jordan Pickford, who still hasn't had a save to make. We've now gone, 150 minutes, England, 153 minutes of international football without conceding a chance. Without conceding a side of goal. Malta didn't have a single attempt the other night, and the Macedonians haven't had one tonight.
No, I've got to say, I've been a little bit underwhelmed with North Macedonia. I was told one or two people that would listen, these ain't a bad side here. I've been really disappointed with them, I've got to say.
Grealish able to step in off the left-hand touchline and bring the ball into the inside left channel before just passing it out to his left for Conor Gallagher. It comes back for Grealish again. England 5 up with Bukayo Saka, who's now left the field, scoring a hat-trick, a 13-minute hat-trick. Grealish clipping it in, and it's tapped in for 6 by Calvin Phillips. His first goal for his country. Right-footed ball swept inside the penalty area. They tried to clear it. It came off the centre half and just bobbled through the 6-yard box for Calvin Phillips, who had all the time in the world to tap it in for his first goal for his country. England 6, North Macedonia 0. Even Calvin Phillips has scored.
Yeah, for all the good set-up play, and we touched on it in the first half, just put the ball in the box, it just creates chaos. And as I say, the panic that was there, defender trying to deal with Harry Kane as the ball goes into the box, lost his bearings slightly on Kane, and he attempted to clear it, fell straight to Phillips, simplest of tasks.
Something off the hapless defender. He's only been on the field about 6-7 minutes or so, and he turned and saw what he'd done. Perfect assist for Phillips, who will never score a simpler goal, club or country. Hasn't got that many in his career, but he's scored one for England now. England 6, North Macedonia 0. Bardi getting it again, Atanasov back for Bardi. Look forward towards halfway where Nestrovsky can turn, and then Bardi will play it in behind Babunski, and England mop up and win it back again. That's played outside the area for John Stones. England's senior season finishes tonight, but the under-21s are in action. A European Championship coming up, and we've got the games for you live on the talksport network over the next few weeks. You won't miss a kick on talksport 2 of England's under-21 European Championship campaign. Kane now towards Harry Maguire, and Maguire asked to stop by the Macedonians because one of their number is down hurt. Touch of cramp, I think, for Bardi, possibly nothing more serious than that. But they are going to make another change. They're going to bring David Babunski on. And Bardi, by the look of it, is the man that is going to come off. He's just disconsolately ripped the yellow captain's armband from his left arm. That's been passed around a fair bit, that armband, in this game, and he's going to come off. And David Babunski, the midfielder who's on the books of Barcelona B as a youth player, is the man that comes on for his 15th cap, and he'll be on the field with his brother. The Babunski brothers both on now for North Macedonia. They trail England by 6 goals to 0 midway through the second half on talksport. Here's Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, when you look at both of these games together, it's been a very, very impressive couple of games. Some really good football.
Well, the goalkeeper off his line, and an attempt from halfway to beat him from Harry Kane. A few oohs and ahs from the crowd, but plenty of elevation on it. The goalkeeper had enough time just to trot back and make the save. England turning over possession again, though, on halfway, and Foden dynamic, driving forward. Alexander-Arnold to his left. All the principal attacking options are to his left, and he plays in Grealish. And then it's worked cleverly down the line by Alexander-Arnold. He sees that the pictures had developed so quickly. He just knew where the runs were going to be. Just rolled it down the line, and sure enough was there to get himself in the right position. Back it comes for Grealish again. All the England players now wanting a share of this, with 4 of their number on the score sheet. First senior hat-trick for Saka, a first international goal for Calvin Phillips, yet another one for Harry Kane to extend his record. And a 16th for his country for Marcus Rashford tonight. Here's Kyle Walker. And Kyle Walker has never scored a goal for his country. I wonder whether tonight might be his night. It certainly would be going through his mind.
He hasn't been in the penalty box yet, to be fair to him, so...
In all 76 games.
Exactly. There's probably a part of his game where you think, Cole, come on, with the pace you've got, if he learnt to sort of underlap runs a little bit more, little give and goes, he would be a major force getting into the box.
Well, he just made a run there down the side of Alioski, the left wing back. He went a little bit too early. Now he goes again and they try and play him in. Alioski has done well. Not the tallest, but he climbed high. Good spring to be able to cushion the header back for his goalkeeper. And Dimitrievski, he catch it comfortably and bowled it out, and try and get North Macedonia to be able to get themselves into England territory. Even that has been a real rarity. I mean, the accuracy of their pass completion is pretty impressive, North Macedonia. Yeah, the problem is that every pass they've played has been within 30 yards of the edge of their own penalty area. They just haven't been able to get into England territory at all for anything of any consequence.
No, they've dropped off. They've dropped off as an entire 11. They've had no out ball really, and then from there, when they have turned the ball over, the pass accuracy is reasonable, but they've still got like 80 yards to go before they get up the pitch to threaten our goal, which they haven't done at all.
England 6, North Macedonia 0 on talksport. Wales still hanging on, 0-0 in Turkey, down to 10 men. They have been for 25 minutes or so, so they're halfway from the red card to the full-time whistle. The clean sheet still intact. Northern Ireland 0-0 at home to Kazakhstan, and Ireland lead Gibraltar by 2 goals to 0. Andorra got themselves back on level terms at one stage in Israel, but are behind against Israel 2, Andorra 1. The other game in this group, incidentally, was at a 5 o'clock kickoff. Ukraine beating Malta 1-0. If England win here, they'll be 6 points clear at the top of the group. Play 4, 1-4, and all but in Germany in Euro 2024. Another long ball play for from the England midfield. Expertly pulled out of the sky by Foden. Kane, Gallagher, lovely turn from him, taking it on. The angle very tight. He felt a little bit of contact. It looked as though he was going through his mind whether to go to ground. He showed the referee the contact had been made, stayed on his feet, and it's a corner.
Yeah, when the ball was played into him, he turned it round the corner brilliantly with a little back heel, and then probably second touch should have drove him towards the touchline, just fired it across the face of the goal.
Trent Alexander-Arnold had too many standing ovations at Old Trafford in his career, I would imagine, but gets one here.
It's the first time I think he's had a standing ovation from everybody bar the away section that are all wearing red.
Absolutely. Role reversal for him tonight. Alexander-Arnold across to take this corner right in front of us. Right-footed ball pinged in. Stones might want a penalty here. He has. He was blocked off. He just tried to make a run inside the box, and he was pushed to the ground, just sat there looking at the referee, and the referee said, yeah, the contact was after the corner was taken. Yellow card is shown to Betelai, the defender. He's given this penalty away, and England will have a chance to make it 7.
Well, he's all over John Stones. He's pulling him. He probably, first contact definitely outside the box, but was the ball in flight at that stage? And you can't do things like that. And well, the only surprise to me, Jim, the way the referee's been given a free kick for every incident, is it's took this long for a penalty to be achieved.
Well, they had to make sure that the contact, firstly, happened after the delivery of the ball from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Then they had to make sure that the contact which started outside the penalty area continued in the box. Seemingly they are happy with both of those prerequisites. And with what might be his last kick of the night, Harry Kane has the chance to make it 7. It was Kane that scored goal number 1. Can he add to it from the penalty spot? Scored a penalty in Malta on Friday, scores a penalty in Manchester on Monday. Set the goalkeeper the wrong way, blasted it into the top left-hand corner. It's 2 for Kane, 58 now for his country. That's his 50th goal as England captain. England 7, North Macedonia 0.
Well, certainly leading from the front, leading by example, someone who's absolutely proud to put on an England shirt, and I think he'll be walking over now, and Callum Wilson will be turning around to himself and saying, I wish I'd have come on about 2 minutes ago, I'd have took that.
He was actually talking, Stuart Pearce, to Gareth Southgate about exactly that. They were laughing because, of course, in the last match, Callum Wilson scored his first goal in 5 years for England from the penalty spot.
And Kane will make his way off. And Callum Wilson again will come on to replace him. Massive ovation from Old Trafford for Harry Kane. 2 goals. He's got a really good goal scoring record on this ground. Big smiles, big embrace from Gareth Southgate as he leaves the field. And he goes across to those on the England bench to offer his congratulations to them. Great night for England. They lead 7-0 with 73 minutes gone, and those 7 goals have been scored in a 44-minute span. Over on talksport 2, it's still 0-0, but plenty of drama, of which more in a moment as Gallagher tries to make his way forward. He's lost it, and North Macedonia will be able to bring it away. In the first half, Turkey had a goal disallowed after a lengthy check for a VAR. It was disallowed, a Nepomone goal for offside. Joe Morel was then sent off, and in a 7-minute spell in the second half, Hakan Çalhanoğlu's missed the penalty. They've had another goal disallowed for a handball, but they have just taken the lead. It's Turkey 1, Wales 0 with 19 minutes to go. And that continues live for you right now over on talksport 2. Little bit more jeopardy in that game than there is in this one. England 7, North Macedonia 0. 16 minutes to go. England are hungry for more.
Yeah, they are. They played a very clinical nature of football tonight. The passing's been very good, accurate. And listen, to score 7 goals and the pick of those being Saka's has been superb. And some of the supply line for the goals has been very impressive, Jim.
Well, they had that 10-0 win in San Marino back in 2021 when Harry Kane scored 4. And the last time they ended a game having scored exactly 8 was 10 years ago, also against San Marino. Well, they've got 7, and they've got plenty of time to add to it here. Night just beginning to fall. The sky getting a wee bit dusky overhead. Alexander-Arnold plays the ball forward into the feet of the goal scorer Calvin Phillips. Wonder if Kyle Walker asked if he could take the penalty, on the basis that everyone else is achieving firsts for England tonight. Stone's the man that won it. And now to be played forward by Maguire under the feet of Phillips to Shaw. Out to Jack Grealish on the England left-hand side. Always looking to cut inside onto that right foot, taking red shirts with him. A few follow and fall in his wake, but Calvin Phillips couldn't hold it up. He's come back and won it back, but has given a free kick away. He's going to get a yellow card. So Phillips is in the book, the second England player caution tonight, and he joins Declan Rice.
Yeah, just looking a bit short of sharpness actually, Calvin, I think, dealing with the ball. You can see the rest of the players a little bit sharper, moving the ball around, aware of what's around them, and that lack of match sharpness.
Ball through the Macedonian midfield. Tarnasov hitting it forward. It hit one of his teammates. Foden can bring it on and find Gallagher, and then it's just nudged away in the nick of time. It's a good covering challenge actually by Velkovsky, who stuck out his right foot as Gallagher was hoping to shoot, and he just flicked it away, and the ball ends up in the hands of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think he should have got his effort away a touch earlier there. He took his first touch was fine, then get onto it and hit it with his left foot on the second touch. He delayed, and in the end someone's got back and dealt with it.
France leading Greece by a goal to 0 elsewhere. Mavropanos sent off for Greece. It was Kylian Mbappe penalty that gave the French the lead in that game 10 minutes into the second half. 12 minutes to go here at Old Trafford. England 7, North Macedonia 0. Too many saw this coming. The ease with which England have got the job done after a start in which it took them time to be able to break down a regimented Macedonian back line, but as soon as they broke the deadlock, the proverbial open. It's Harry Maguire in the midfield. Turned forward by him. Phillips can take it and then sweep the ball across to Conor Gallagher to his left. Gallagher on for his 7th appearance for his country tonight.
You've got to say though, Jim, North Macedonia have been very poor tonight, haven't they? They started okay, and the longer the game's gone on, the more shabby they've looked, to be honest with you. And when you consider conceded 3 late goals today against Ukraine and now another 7, so it's not been a good game and a half.
Yeah, as we stand right now, they've conceded 10 in the last 103 minutes of football, which is a pretty desperate state of affairs. I think it's fair to say that once they qualify for the last Euros, they won't be qualifying for the next one. And it will be England plus either Italy or Ukraine. That's how it looks. England 12 points, Ukraine 12 points from 4, Ukraine 6 from 3, Italy 3 from 2, North Macedonia 3 from 3, Malta none from 4. That's how this group is going to be through most of the summer. And the qualification campaign resumes in September. England next up will face the away fixture against Ukraine. It hasn't been decided where that's going to be played yet. Austria seems the favourite, but it's not guaranteed. There are then friendlies away to Scotland and home to Australia before the final 3 games in this group. Italy at home, Malta at home, North Macedonia away. That's how the autumn looks from an international perspective for England. You'll hear all 6 of those games live on talksport, and then Euro 2024 also covered in our inimitable way on the talksport network over the course of next summer. 7-0 to England with 10 minutes to go, and Alexander-Arnold in possession inside his own half. He's chipped it forward here for Gallagher, who can control it and play forward out to Luke Shaw. Shaw's got Grealish to his left. He's got Wilson making his way forward through the middle. Foden is at the far post. The ball is played on the overlap down towards the dead ball line. The sweeping cross hit a defender and will be cleared by Atanasov just about in time before he ran it out of play for a corner. It wasn't the best clearance. It fell for Alexander-Arnold in the midfield, who plays a simple ball back for Stones. Stones plays the way that he's facing and starts another England attack in the process. Back it goes from Gallagher. Alexander-Arnold to Maguire. Down through the midfield from Phillips. Shaw able to turn. Gallagher has it again. Back to the halfway line. Good movement from Foden, but the ball didn't get as far as him. Grealish intercepting it. Shaw plays it back towards halfway. And the men in red just being toyed with here, really.
Yeah, they are. Their enthusiasm's died a death, actually. I've got to say, they're late to it every pass, and England are just moving the ball to left and right, waiting for an opportunity to arise.
Maguire. Grealish into the feet on the edge of the penalty area. Wilson couldn't thread it through towards Foden. Alexander-Arnold tries to take over, but couldn't get past the sliding challenge from Serafimov. Stones wins it back on halfway. England have now gone nearly 9 minutes without a goal. Shaw to Gallagher. Back for Shaw again. Grealish taking it on. Pockets of Macedonian supporters, as well as the main away end, away to our right hand side. There are a few more dotted around, and they're still in good voice. They can't be enjoying it from a football perspective, enjoying the experience, enjoying the game. No. 7-0 England. Here's Pickford. Another one of those games where he's glad he's not getting paid by the same. Alexander-Arnold almost in a sweeper's role now, playing very deep between 2 wide centre halves, Stones and Maguire. The ball is stationary. It was for 4 or 5 seconds there, as Stones is trying to encourage Nestrovsky to come and make a challenge on him. And when he paid lip service at doing so, Stones works into his left-hand side for Maguire, and England will be able to bring it forward again. Wales down to 10 men conceded a second. It's Turkey 2, Wales 0. So Turkey missed a penalty, had 2 disallowed by the VAR and have scored 2 tonight. Another poor night for Rob Page's men. Turkey will be top of that group with 10 points from 4 games. Wales will have 4 from 4. Their chances of qualification rescinding after a terrible week for them. Phillips down to Walker. Walker back for Stones. Foden coming in short, hands outstretched, desperate for the ball, desperate to try and get some involvement here. Phil Foden, who looked so sharp coming off the bench in the Champions League final 9 days ago. Grealish, who started that game, ball forwards, taking the deflection, might break Wilson's way, and does so actually, chests it down, has to come back outside the penalty area, and he's followed out there by Belovski. Plays Grealish in on the corner of the penalty area once more. It's a good pirouette from Jack Grealish. To Calvin Phillips, the score of goal number 6. Walker to Stones. Maguire. Between the lines for Grealish's run. Grealish trying to bulldoze his way through. Poked it just too far past Wilson. It was offside anyway. The ball is in the hands of the goalkeeper. He'll be allowed to play out for the back. We've got 6 minutes of England's season remaining, and they're 7 up against Macedonia.
Decent ball there from Maguire, broke the lines with it, and Grealish just a little bit loose with his control on the half turn.
Today's match attendance is 70,708. Thank you for your fantastic support.
Well, you heard there the announcement of the crowd, 70,708. It had been expected tonight that this game would mark a record crowd for an England home game outside of Wembley. That's not quite the case, and it remains the last time that the Macedonians were here back in 2006 when they got just a few over 72,000. The last England goal scorer before tonight on this ground was Peter Crouch against Andorra back in 2006. But it's a night when 4 more England players have been able to add their name to that list, including Bukayo Saka, scorer of a hat-trick. You're not missing anything. The Macedonians have another player down injured on the edge of the D. Just gives England a chance to take a bit of fluid on board, have some drink, and get a few final instructions on how to play out the last few minutes. A big goal in the Northern Ireland game late on. Northern Ireland 0, Kazakhstan 1. Goal that has been scored 2 minutes from time. Let's get details on that from Denise.
Yeah, heartbreak here at Windsor Park. Northern Ireland 0, Kazakhstan 1. As you say, just 2 minutes from time. Defensive mix-up. It was Kazakhstan's Ambatov who got in there. It really was a very soft goal to give away. Northern Ireland fans absolutely heartbroken. They had most of the possession. But right now, with just about a minute to go here at normal time, it's Northern Ireland 0, Kazakhstan 1.
The other game in that group tonight, Slovenia 1-1 at home to Denmark. So Northern Ireland's hopes of qualification also taking a real battering, and they will be 5th in the group at the end of the night, 3 points from 4 games and only above San Marino. And that's not going to happen for Northern Ireland this time around by the look of it. England in possession, ball over the top from Phillips, looking for Foden, trying to make the run off Alioski. It's headed away. We're in the 89th minute here at Old Trafford. I don't think there'll be too much stoppage time to be added on. Alioski playing it back inside the 6-yard box, where it'll be cleared by the stumbling Dimitrievski. He's only cleared it to Conor Gallagher. Gallagher rolling it for Grealish, across the edge of the 6-yard box, headed over his own bar by Serafimov to make sure that it's a corner and not goal number 8.
Yeah, really poor clearance there by the goalie. Gallagher onto it straight away, and Grealish just failed to find Wilson in the centre of the goal.
So another corner which will be taken on the England left. They lead by 7 goals to 0. Stones has made his way forward here. The corner is worked short of Foden. Foden unmarked, puts it wide.
Deflection there, good defending, managed to get out, get in the line of the ball and just deflected wide.
Late equaliser for Romania and Switzerland, that's 2-2. England with 5 inside the penalty area for this corner, which is their 7th of the game. 7 corners without reply. Left-footed away swinger. Harry Maguire stooping to come and meet it. Might break Phillips' way. But on the turn, as he fell over, he couldn't make any real purchase on it. And he just lobs up into the hands of the goalkeeper.
I think any time we toss the ball in the box, Jim, we got every chance of creating something. North Macedonia have been very, very poor dealing with crosses in.
Yeah, it was the case the other night, but it's a weakness that has been brutally exposed here this evening. A reminder that England's under-21s are in action in the European Championship over the course of the summer. It starts on Thursday, a 5 o'clock kickoff. They take on the Czech Republic. And that first game in the under-21 European Championship comes your way on talksport 2. 5 o'clock on Thursday, then they play Israel, 5 o'clock Sunday, and Germany, 5 o'clock the week Wednesday. All of those games live on talksport 2 in the under-21 European Championship, which will follow all the way through for you. It's been a glorious night for England tonight. But what matters is it being a glorious night, the last game of next season. North Macedonia will bring it forward with the feet of Alioski and Agfert Nestrovsky. Play forward by him to Elmas. Elmas has just not been able to make any kind of impression tonight, the Italian league winner this season. Serafimov down the line from Nestrovsky, who's been playing that much deeper in this second half, through necessity really. And Alioski turns the ball away and concedes a throw, which will be taken by Kyle Walker on the England right-hand side. Find out very shortly from the fourth official, Radu Petrescu, how many extra minutes are going to be added. And the North Macedonians will be desperately hoping for a favour in that regard. And they're leading 7-0.
I think going back to your point about not conceding an effort at goal takes some doing. You know, in any game, in any standard of football, the opposition normally have an effort at goal at some stage.
But to do it 2 games in a row, I mean, I would imagine that's the first time that's ever happened in England history. And those statistics aren't kept for games prior to about 15, 20 years ago, but it must be the first time it's ever happened in England history. 2 successive games which they haven't ceded a single attempt. Here's Phil Foden bringing the ball forward, and his is the last touch of the night. The last touch of a fantastic 2023 for England, who go into the summer break played for, won for, with a place at Euro 2024, a shoo-in. Bukayo Saka, the man that will take the headlines tonight, a 13-minute hat-trick as England scored 7 in a 44-minute period either side of half-time. This performance, their last of this season, is such stark contrast to the last of last season. And if they can continue that progress in the upward curve the same extent over the next 12 months, well, there's plenty of promise and optimism ahead. This one finishes England 7, North Macedonia 0.